Hi everyone. It's been a while, but before it got into the month of February, at which point I think it would be ridiculous to still be talking about Christmas, I wanted to get my Christmas presents that I bought myself that are fragrance related out of the way and show everyone. Everyone else seems to enjoy showing them, so I thought I would share mine too. I got myself 6 things this year and was wondering if I should wait a little bit longer and maybe buy some more things to still call them Christmas presents. But like I said, I wanted to get this out before the 31st. So most of these, with maybe the exception of one, all come from houses that I don't actually have in my collection currently. So at least 5 of the 6 I don't own anything else from the brand. So I'm trying to sort of branch out and smell new things and have new things in my wardrobe. The first thing that I got was this Acqua di Parma's Colonia Assoluta. It was a toss-up for me between the Assoluta and the Intenza, which I'll probably also eventually end up buying. This is not the biggest bottle that they have, which I think is a 10-ounce, 300 ml. This is the 6-ounce, 180 ml, but is going to be more than serviceable through warmer months when it starts to warm up. If you know anything about the House of Acqua di Parma, you probably know that they're not the greatest performing fragrances right now. They are, I don't know what I mean by right now. They're not the greatest performing fragrances. However, if you want something citrusy and bright and fresh and maybe a little bit floral, they all do have sort of a floral element too. It's really hard to go wrong when you buy one. There are a couple of exceptions to that rule. They are the more recent releases. Ooh, have you ever tried Pura? Oh my goodness, it's horrible. It's awful. But I might review one of those in the future. But I want Intenza. I want to try Essenza, and I absolutely love Assoluta. So there's the first bottle that I got myself. The second bottle, apparently everyone has one of these. I have been in the serious habit of wearing fragrances for a few years, literally like 3 or 3.5, but have never had one from the brand of Amouage. And this is kind of an Amouage fragrance that isn't really talked about. It's not Interlude Man, it's not Epic Man. This is Journeyman. And just to show you the bottle, this is the really, really lovely red, like ruby red with the gold. If anyone cares, it's the magnetic top, whatever. But this is just a really beautiful, spicy, peppery oriental scent. It's really, really stunning. If you like those heavy, dark, peppery, spicy, last all day. I mean, 10, 12 hours, 14 hours. It's great. I even wore it. To be technical, this is not an unboxing because obviously I've already taken the cellophane off, but I've also worn it a few times. And I got told the first time that I wore it that I had over applied. I think I had sprayed it 3 times. But I'm in the habit of over applying because my skin eats perfume. But apparently even 3 times was too much. So, there you go. I look forward to wearing this in the few cold days that we have left. So, my first Amouage. This is from a house that gets an incredibly small amount of attention here on YouTube. It is know if I'm covering up anything vital there. This is from the house of Aroma M Perfumes. And it is, I don't see the word noir on there, but this is called Geisha Noir. And let's see, you open the box. Bought this from Lucky Scent. Open it up. Comes in this black little bag. Take it out. And there you go. This is, if you have not experienced the house of Aroma M, I would certainly suggest that you look them up. I was curious a couple of years ago about them, and I contacted the owner, Maria. Her last name is escaping me at the moment, but she was very, very kind, and she sent me about a dozen samples of the oil versions of these. These come in eau de parfum, which is what I have here, but also oil, pure oil roll-on sticks, like 8 or 10 mil, I think. And these are, I want to say, $85 for a 50 mil. And the roll-on sticks, which, keep in mind, are much, much more concentrated, I think they're on the order of like 50 or 60. Most of them, as with any line, I was sort of indifferent to. But if I can find one or two things from a line that I really love, then I consider it a highly successful line because I'm just picky. This is just so good. I don't really know how to describe how nice this smells. And it's usually not a kind of scent profile that I go for. What it's described as in the notes is a black amber. I don't really know what that means, but to me it's certainly ambery, it's vanillic, it's rich, it's got a lot of vanilla, it's also perhaps a little bit tonka-y and resinous. It has just this nice, sweet, without being sugary sweet, dry down. That's a little bit woody and just so nice. Again, got this from Lucky Scent. They sell samples. If you love maybe ambers with a twist, with just a little bit of like woodiness and a little bit of sort of sugary, ambery. Ooh, it's just good. It smells. There's also maybe a little bit of coumarin in here. It's got like a sort of a hay note vibe. This really, really reminds me. I'm not saying it smells the same, but it reminds me of two things, actually. It reminds me of the one by Serge Lutens, Chergui. This has a little bit in common with Chergui. Again, does not smell similar, but is evocative of Chergui. Another thing that it's highly evocative of is Shalimar by Guerlain. If you like Shalimar, that sort of slightly animalic, vanillic thing, try this out. It's lovely. I've only tried the EDT version of Shalimar. I've never tried the Parfum or the EDP, but I would imagine that Parfum probably smells maybe something like this. This isn't really quite that animalic, but it's definitely Shalimar-like. Next. So, I think this is my first Tom Ford. I think. This is just Grave Vetiver, EDT, 50 mil, 1.7 ounce version. I have already put a noticeable dent in it, as you can tell. Unfortunately, this, I thought I remembered testing the EDT, and I thought it had at least 4 or 5 hours worth of longevity on my skin. But this showed up in the mail. Bought it from FragranceNet, so it should be legit. I have not checked the code on it or anything. Whatever, not worth my time. But this has maybe 30 minutes of longevity, maybe an hour of longevity on my skin. Really sort of disappointing. I mean, it's nice. You can sort of use it as an aftershave-y kind of scent, even though, it does have the sprayer. For those of you not familiar with another brand that has slightly better performance than this, even though it itself is not superb performance-wise, go check out Duetto Parfums. They have a scent called Citiver, which has garnered some attention in the community, but I don't think nearly as much as it should have. There are only maybe 4 or 6 reviews that I can find online about it. This Citiver lasts probably 3 to 4 times as long on my skin as this does, and the price per mil is roughly the same. I think Citiver for a 100 ml bottle is something like 110 or 120 bucks. So for a citrus that has a decent lasting life on your skin, 4 or 5 hours, it's certainly worth the small amount of money that you'll end up paying for it. This I overspray and it still underperforms. So I'm interested in trying the EDP version, and maybe that will be a little bit better. I've heard that it is, but I've always had better luck with EDT versions. They seem to have a little bit more diffusiveness off of my skin. They project a little bit more, as I'm used to EDPs being a little bit closer to the skin. And I just like a little bubble around me, maybe a foot or so. I don't like it to be a total skin scent. So, Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford, EDT. I'll save the best for last. This is next to last. This is, depending on if you're of the German persuasion or the English one, this is Kniesetzin or Kniese 10. This is an old fragrance and very old school smelling, I would say. There was recently a wonderful review done by Early Greek. Hi, Early Greek, if you're watching. He did a review of the Golden Edition, which was put out in 2000. Slightly different than this. It sounds like, from what he said, a slightly more updated version. But this is the original version. I think came out in the 20s. I bought the small bottle because it's probably enough to last me a lifetime. And here's what it looks like. Sort of a nicely fitting cap and everything. It's to me it's got a sort of a citrusy top, but the body of the fragrance is really a floral leather. It really reminds me of a Russian kind of leather. I've never smelled Coeur de Russie, but I have smelled other fragrances that try to do a Russian kind of leather smell, and it's not that harsh, worn, raw, animalic kind of leather smell. It's, even though I guess there are animalic tinges to this, it's Early Greek said he found it a little bit tough to wear. I think in if it's cool enough, and if you let it dry down for an hour or two before you head out anywhere, it's pretty nice. It is going to make you smell perhaps a little bit older than you are, certainly older than I am, but I don't know. It's something about it reminds me of the fougères of the 70s and 80s. It's certainly not like that, but I don't know. There's something classic about it, and the fact that James Dean and Marlene Dietrich and people like that wore it sort of adds to the allure. I don't know if they really did, but I love the smell, and again, sort of a maybe not so much leather, but like a dark suede with some really interesting floral notes and citruses at the top. Maybe a slightly animalic dry down. Really, really nice stuff. If you've never sampled it, please get your hands on it if that sounds interesting. And I just now realized that I have not actually even taken the cellophane off of this. This is Tea Habanero by Ragnoget Parfumeur. Ragnoget is maybe one of my best discoveries from when did I think I got it in 2017, early in 2017. I know Andrew over from Oda Cupcakes is not a fan, but I don't know. I don't remember if he tried this. I know Arlene loves this, and I love it too, Arlene. When I first spray it, I'm going to think of you when I wear this. It's certainly cold enough today to wear it. So let me open this, and I can show you the bottle. By the way, there's one more from this house that I really want. This is Tea Habanero, as I said. I also want their leather fragrance, which is called Cuir Andalou, or Andalusian leather. This really beautiful, smoky, animalic, sort of balls to the wall leather fragrance. It just takes no prisoners. Love it. Out of this world good. Goodness. I love the bottle too. Okay, so these are 50 mils. Also got this from Lucky Scent. And there you go. There's Tea Habanero by Ragnoget. I guess I haven't described it. This is, for me, it's so beautiful. It's just stunningly, stunningly beautiful. It is, the T stands for tobacco. Okay, so this is, habanero, by the way, is a demonym for the people that live in Havana, in Cuba. So you would call someone from Havana a habanero. So this is tobacco from Havana, or inspired by that. This is obviously a beautiful tobacco with aspects of honey. I get sort of a dark, oozy, rich honey. Not sweet at all, but just that sort of essence of, pollen distilled into a honey. With some spices, lots of wood, a little bit of oud, certainly not an oud-based fragrance, but just this beautiful honeyed tobacco is what I get on my skin. Beautiful longevity, doesn't shout, but also is not a skin scent. It's a perfect medium between the two. This doesn't seem obnoxious when you wear it, and it's just so beautiful. If you love tobacco and you're not looking for a super dry tobacco, something with maybe a little bit of sweetness, and if oud doesn't completely turn your stomach, because Ragnoget is known for her use of. She doesn't use these sort of Western wimpy ouds. She uses, I don't know if it's real oud, but it smells like Eastern style. It's somewhat animalic. It's can be challenging for some people, but since I love the smell when it's blended well, I don't really smell that funkiness that other people get out of it. I just get the tobacco and the honey and the woods and all of that, the spice and everything. So if oud doesn't totally repulse you and you love tobacco, definitely try out the house. And if you're just an all-out oud fan, try something like Oud Assam, which is named after the famous region in India where they grow Assam tea. And if you love leather, try Cuir Andalou. It is, like I said, not sweetened up, no frilly edges, just a smoky, dark, woody, oudy leather that's just spectacular. That's next on my. That's probably the only one from Rania J that I want. She has a very small line, I think 7 fragrances, but she made 2 that I fell in love with. So that's what, batting 28%. That's not bad. So my last fragrance for Christmas, Tea Habanero by Rania J Parfumeur. Thanks, guys. I will see you soon. Bye.